Let me start at verse 7. I'm going to go to 13. And it says, when Yahweh comes to reward the righteous, and one thing, like the scripture says, who had put their trust in the Lord, and the Lord had forsaken. One thing I always say, just look at the fact that who we are uplifting. You know, the forefathers we always talk about. The apostles, um, the prophets, and the righteous men that were in the Bible, and we use and we talk about these names. In this present day of time. So ultimately, the Lord never forsook them. Just like I believe when we start from Sirach 40, the 43rd chapter, it talks about the great action that our forefathers have done, and even to this day, we speak about those great acts and righteous deeds that they did. So their name is always lifted. So ultimately, there's going to be a reward for those who seek Yahweh Bashar Yahweh Shah and take delight in those names and labor for that for that penny, so to speak, and that reward, and try to hold fast to that the ending to the end of that race. So it says they will blaze out against the wicked like fire and dry straw, because ultimately through Yahweh Shah we're going to subdue and gain control and power over the nations. They will rule over nations and peoples, and the Lord will be their king forever. That's right, Yahweh Shah underneath King David. I mean, Salaki, Yahweh Shah and King David. And then we will rule, and the earth will be restored back to righteousness. Those who have put their trust in Yahweh will come to understand the truth of his ways. And this is why ultimately we battle, we fight, we strive for this truth. And yes, we have things that come up, things of the flesh, worldly shit that comes up, and little, things that, the upkeep of America until all hell break loose. The Lord allows certain endeavors and, certain things come, events. I mean, you might go to a basketball game, and I'm just using these as an example. But, we ultimately, we hone and we tone and we know how to govern our thoughts and govern this flesh of ours and keep it underneath discipline and to understanding, what's important. And we keep the ordinance of things. And we understand, who our true family is, and we understand our true calling is and what to do. So just like you have Jake, which, they will sit there and believe their dreams and believe that their calling has become the next rapper or the next TikTok or the next YouTuber, podcast or whatever. Well, ultimately, that's those things that will come to naught. Yeah, it'll bring them certain attention, get them certain women, and eventually get them caught up. But ultimately, it'll come to naught. Um, but we understand that through our actions, which we are doing as now, going out there laboring for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah's namesake, it's going to be a reward. So it says, those who have put their trust in Yahweh will come to understand the truth of his ways. Those who have been faithful will live with him in his love, for he is kind and merciful to the ones whom he has chosen. It's like the scripture said, he had chosen thee out of the world, you know. He didn't chose the righteous, etc., but he chose the little ones. So, roughly paraphrasing, so, be delightful, be thankful, Matter of fact, let's get that. I've chosen you. I've chosen you. So John 15 and 19. If you were of the world will love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. And this is why, you know, um, you ought to be delighted that, we don't we don't fit in. Not many women take a liking to us. Not too many Jakes really, mind dealing with us. But all in all, it's a balance. You know, the Lord knows how to make the enemies ease be at peace with you. Lord knows how to use certain people to basically how you say have favor amongst you so you can get through. One thing in this truth, you should never be worrying about how you will be forsaken or how the Lord is going to, make you look stupid out here. Um, First thing you need to realize, you put the truth way before anything else in this world. You fight for the Lord, especially the more especially during more affliction. If you ever get afflicted, which you will, which will happen, that's when you instead of running far, running backwards, you run more towards Yahweh Shah. You got to remember those temptations, those battles. You got to remember Job. And there's going to be many things that you go against, and many battles and thoughts of your mind which will come up to the point where you're going to, at times you might feel like you're wicked, or, you're going to seem like you're losing the battle. But that's what prayer is out there for. Yahweh chosen us, for this battle, for this fight. And ultimately we understand who's really important, who we ought to be looking up to, and not to be, intermingled with this world. Yes, of course, we live here, and we pay our fucking taxes, or we gotta register cars, register house, mortgage, etc., pay bills, upkeep ourselves, daily maintenance, the herbs, taking care of these bodies. But overall, the Lord gives us insight and gives us strength, to keep going, because it takes a lot to really, we understand that America is going to be destroyed, but we still have that passion and the desire to keep going, because ultimately, the Lord gives us an edge and keeps us with a chip on our shoulder. Because I mean, and all jokes aside, you really got to be somewhat crazy to, and you understand why people really look at you like you're crazy, but you get what I'm saying. What else? It was something else that I wanted. Let me see something. Lord have, oh yeah, Lord have chosen. First Corinthians 1:27. I'm gonna start this. Let me see something. Let me get this in the GNT. So First Corinthians 27. Start at 24. I'm gonna start at verse 25. For what seems, First Corinthians 1:25 in the GNT. For what seems, matter of fact, let me switch versions. See what the NLT says. Salaki. First Corinthians 1:25. This foolish plan of Yahweh is wiser than the wisest of human plans, and Yahweh's weaknesses is stronger than the greatest of human strength. Remember, dear brothers and sisters, that few of you were wise in the world's eyes or powerful or wealthy when Yahweh called you. Instead, Yahweh chose things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise, and he chose things that are powerful to shame those who are powerless. Salaki. He chose things that were that are powerless to shame those who are powerful. Yahweh chose things despised by the world, things counted as nothing at all, and used them to bring to nothing what the world considers important. As a result, no one can ever boast in presence of Yahweh Shem Shah. Yahweh has united you with Hamashiach Yahweh Shah for our benefit. Yahweh made him to be wisdom itself. Yahweh Shah made us right with Yahweh, being the mediator in the sacrificial lamb. He made us pure and holy, and he freed us from sin. Therefore, as the scripture says, if you want to boast, boast only about the Lord, which we do. You know, ultimately through him, because we never, signed up, meaning we never yearned or thought we would be in this predicament that we're in now to um, fight for this gospel. So going back, verse 10, the destiny of the wicked, the ungodly, however, the 2/3, the wicked niggas we how you say, we come across day to day, the wicked ass woman we have to be in front of, or, your workplace, your neighborhood, your just your day to day, endeavors, if I'm saying it correctly. The ungodly, however, will get the punishment their wicked thoughts deserve, because majority of Jake, even their words are irksome, their conversations are irksome, and they're just they're pestilence. The fucking niggas are annoying. Now, well, which was before, but it's just more so now. I really despise. I really don't want to be around niggas, and I actually, and the brothers in the camp know what I'm talking about. I'll just look at niggas in a certain way. It's just like, yo, don't. Basically, if I don't know you, nigga, just fuck you. I don't. We're not in that predicament now to be trying to make new friends or find people out, figure people out, because we understand the times that we're in now. If your foot is not in this door, meaning the ark, this truth, this light, you're a reprobate, and it's always many trains and many avenues of way of Jake is trying to get over on somebody, especially his own people. So it says, Amen, Shalaki, because they rebelled against the Lord and ignored what was right. A man who has no use for wisdom or education has a miserable life in store for him, and that's Jake. Jake don't care about this truth, about the names, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, or, what's important, or, coming back to the life, like Baruch, the 4th chapter says. Jake is just, they're caught up in America, and that's all they know. So, Jake think and really believe, they waking up in the morning, talking this shit and foolishness and fuckery, and a bunch of he say, she say, and, the typical nigga delight, the niggas, how you say, the niggas education, which is foolishness and fuckery and whatever Esau has put out there, and whatever Jake sees on TV. That's what they're into. Neely Fuller had a good video that talked about if only niggas know what Esau has taught and told these niggas to like. So if a nigga told you J's are good, niggas gonna like J's. If a nigga says Crocs are good, then niggas will wear Crocs. If Esau said Cadillac cars are good, trucks, that's what niggas like. Ciroc, Henny, then niggas will do so. Boat Rock, you get what I'm saying. He has nothing to hope for. His labors are useless, and because again, what Jake believe in, and they're doing it just really a waste of fucking time. Because we ultimately know, the Lord is going to come back. Yahweh Shah is going to restore righteousness. All this evil and wickedness you see on the earth is going to come to naught. He will never accomplish anything worthwhile. And, even though it seems as if he's getting somewhere, because, again, Esau has to give gifts to the little niggas. Esau has to give gifts to his little slaves. his little good boys, his institutionalized niggas, to keep them, their heads strong, and keep them their heads up, and keep them, in somewhat good spirits for the time being. But you know, the woman he marries will turn out to be irresponsible, and like the scriptures also says too, a wicked woman is given to a wicked man, and his children will go wrong, and that's why majority of these times, this whole the whore culture, this whole pimp player culture, it has come to naught. The freak Nick, the Uncle Luke, your gang banging era, not gang banging, gang. What's that shit when a bunch of running trains and etc. Our people not really knowing what true marriage is according to the Bible. We have pretty much just learned a culture that's sex, and lust, and nothing comes from it. So majority of times these men have put babies in these women, and nothing comes from it. It's just a fucked up household. The woman disdain the man, and the man disdain the woman, and all that hatred goes on to that child, and they just grow up to be defenseless. So it said all his descendants will be under a curse. You see that? So that's why those curses hit Jake heavy, because ultimately, because we live in a life of sin and we don't know what sin is, we always constantly are falling for the snares and the traps from the so-called white man. But I'm going to cut it short. Lord's will, you was edified. With that, shalom.